Hello everybody, Al Craig's here, and welcome to the Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode, 286? And today, we're going to be talking about the Inner Sphere mech, the Sunder. Or, yes, 90 tons, it's a 460, has 15 heat sinks, carries around a 360 XL engine, 264 points of armor, which is 16.5, which is pretty respectable for 90 tons. And the most interesting thing about this mech is that it has 36 tons of pod space. That makes it an Omni. Yes, they took clan equipment and like the Loki and the Thor and said, hey, let's see if we can convert this into an Inner Sphere mech. And they were slightly successful, even though it's a mech running around with a XL engine. As a mech that can dish out a lot of firepower pretty quickly, it could do it. But its life expectancy on the battlefield is a lot less than your typical mech that doesn't have XL engines when it comes to Inner Sphere XLs. When you look at the difference between clan XLs and the Inner Sphere ones, well, obviously that third or little XL slot that's in each torso makes the big difference between having a torso taken out and dying or just continuing on with 10 extra heat. So, there you go. Now, overall, I've played with the Sunder before at conventions and stuff like that. It's definitely a House Draconis. It's mech. When Luthien Mechworks had turned around and designed this thing, it's, like I said, it's kind of a glass cannon. It can dish out a lot of damage pretty quickly, and then it sort of, if it takes any attention, and it's like it dies. It's just horrible death. It's like I was running one time, and all it took was a couple clan mechs, and it was gone. It's like, oh, torso's out. Goodbye. And it was like, kaplunk, dead mech. And it's like, never even cracked the armor on the arms, the legs, or other torsos. Just took out I think it was left torso. And it was dead that quickly. Now, and it doesn't take that much when you look at the, let's say, right-left torso, it's 29 points. A couple Gauss rifle hits or ERPPCs, and you're already inside. And then when you're looking at 19 internal structure, a couple other good hits, and it's sayonara. Lights are out. Now, it does have the 15 heat sinks is standard. That comes with it. That's built into the mech. That's one nice thing. It can handle the heat processes pretty good. Now, we do have, let's see, 3 or 4, actually there's like 5, I think 5 different versions of this. Being that it's an Omni mech, you can design however you want to. You're not locked into, really, to be honest, you're not really locked into configuration, prime, A or B or C. It's just, those are your most common ones that you're going to find. But if a mech commander wants to have it set up in a certain way, it can be set up, as long as you have the pod space. Now, the Prime version has an AC-20 in the left arm, and with a, well, this is the sad thing, you get 2 tons of ammo for it. All right. Then we have 2 large lasers, standard large lasers, not ERs, in the right arm. We have an SRM-4 in the head, 2 SRM-4s in the center torso, along with a ton of ammo in the right torso. And nowhere in here did I mention, say, case? No, I didn't, because it doesn't have case. And then we have a medium laser in the left torso and a medium laser in the right torso. All right. The Prime version, it's a city fighter. It's like you have everything. You got nothing that goes out past 15. So if you're fighting in a city where ranges are shortened greatly, then yeah, this mech will do fairly well up until the point where it attracts some attention and gets blown out. But an AC-20, a couple large lasers, you know, you're looking at in a walk 20 heat there, and then you add in your SRMs. Yeah, this or even medium lasers. You can shut down one medium or one large laser and throw in your SRMs and your medium lasers into the mix and not really worry about the heat. So it can dish out some good damage, but it's short range damage. That's its problem with the Prime. So not a really big fan of the Prime, but you know, that is what it is. Then we got configuration A. All right, this one. All right, you start looking at some long range capability with the A version. All right, this one has an ERPPC, so you got the 23. You got the Gauss rifle at 22. All right, so there you go. You got two weapons: Gauss rifle on the left arm, PPC in the right arm. Okay, so you got some. You can dish out 25 at a good distance. 22. So, nothing to complain about there. But then this is more or less a long-range fire support mech. If you got a lot of open terrain and you're looking at that kind of configuration, this might be the one for you. It has 3 LRM-5s, 1 in the head, 2 in the center torso. So swapping out the SRM-4s for LRM-5s. All right, so there's that. And then you have 2 medium pulse lasers, 1 in the left torso, 1 in the right torso. And you have 2 tons of ammo for the LRM in the right torso. And then the left torso, you got 2 tons for the Gauss rifle. So, there. Out at long range, it's not bad. This is one of those, it's like, all right, I'm going to stand back and try to do some damage out to range. You know, basically, you're looking at the LRMs as your plinkers. That's pretty much your crit hunting type weapon system. So, basically, how I always like to use is like, all right, fire the Gauss rifle, fire the PPC, scrape off some armor, fire the LRMs because they're in range. Obviously, if you're firing the other 2 systems, the LRMs should be in range. Or, well, maybe by 1 you might be off. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're going to be in range. And if you hit with those, well, after you hit with the bigger weapons, those might be your plinkers that are looking for open armor. So, there. If you're lucky enough to put both the Gauss rifle and the PPC in the same spot, hey, maybe you got a chance. But after a couple turns of softening up your target, then you start, by the 3rd turn, the target you're shooting at might have some armor ripped off of it, and that's where those LRMs come in. And when you get in close within 6, that's when you throw in the pulse lasers. So, there. Then we have configuration B. Now, this is kind of an interesting one. This harkens to the Direct Codex Combines version of the C3 systems and how they're trying to link everything together. We have an LRM-20 in the left arm with 3 tons of ammo. All right, and to me, the LRM-20 instead of the AC-20 is actually a better deal. I'd rather have that over an AC-20. Even though the AC-20 is putting 20 damage in one spot, that's only out to 9. But the LRM-20, you can get 2-3 shots in before you would even be able to shoot the AC-20. So to me, the LRM-20 is a better shot. And you got 18 rounds with it. So, hey, you got that many salvos. Why not use it? And then in the right arm, we have 2 medium pulse lasers. Really short range stuff. And then we have a C3 computer mainframe in the right torso, a medium laser in the right torso. We have a C3 computer in the left torso, and a medium laser in the left torso. Then we have an LRM-10 in the center torso with a ton of ammo in the right and left torso. Now, I've never been a big fan of trying to have two different types of ammo for two different systems. I got an LRM-20 and an LRM-10. You think maybe put two LRM-15s on and then share the ammo? Might be a better way to go. You know, to me, that's kind of like how I look at that. So that's one thing, one type of configuration here. But with the two C3s, master computers on board, you are able to coordinate 3 lances and mechs together. So now you're running a company together, and that works good. So I'd rather had like 2 LRM-15s instead of the LRM-20, and then maybe get rid of the pulse lasers and put some more medium lasers on. That allows you to sit back and use your system to your best advantage. So it just sits back there and just rains down LRMs on the target, and then when the bays are drive, you got at least the medium lasers to work with. So that's kind of like how I look at that. It has some uses, but you know, it is an Omni, so you can configure it how you want. It's got the pod space, so you know, once again, make use of it. So you got a company commander who's going to be running around this thing, and he's going to be the farthest one in the back. And you do want something that can just sit there and fire away and not worry about being engaged. Yes, the old adage, if you can shoot them, they can shoot back, but maybe you're behind cover and concealment, so you're just firing indirect without moving. There's that. Okay. Then we have configuration C. This is intended to work as a close combat mech with a C3 Lance. The Sunder C has a slave, okay, which, you know, you're getting back into the B configuration here. Being used with that, it allows it to coordinate itself with a C3 Lance. The mech has an MRM-30 and an MRM-40. Okay, this is getting back to the thing. It's like, why do you have 2 different weapon systems on board that are firing missiles? Make them the same, and then you can put on different stuff to support this. All right. At close ranges, it has a pair of Streak 4s, okay, and a medium laser. The primary drawback is the configuration of its high dependence on ammunition and forces Sunder to withdraw from the battlefield before the battle could be even finished. And that's coming in around 1,700 battle value. Did I say what the primary version was? Yeah, about 17.5 was the prime version. You got the A is 2,000 and 1,600 with the B. C is 17, a little over 17. So yeah. Once again, I think they when they make these different versions, they're trying to make them as bad as possible by thinking they're making it good. I don't know. It's like, what is the thought process that goes through this? Doesn't, like, I guess coming from the actual military, I look at things and it's like in logistics and all that firing. You know, it's like, hey, beans and bullets, baby. You got to look at it, making it simpler for the guys to get the stuff to the front. All right. We got the configuration D. The Sunder D is configured to engage the enemy both at long range and short range. Okay, that's kind of like the A version, and it carries a powerful payload. It's has Sunder D has 2 PPCs standards, allows it to strike out at 18, and then it has an LBX-20. All right, that's not bad. That's an LBX-20 can do some serious damage in crits. And it's like one of our last games, I think it was a game or two ago, we had a Axeman with an LBX-20 and did 20, like hit with all 20 and did close to 15 or 16 crits on a mech that way. Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh. And then overlapping weapons, bringing all the three to bear. Okay, unlike other variants, carries this jump jets. So this one has, you're wrapping 6 tons up in jump jets. So it can traverse the area pretty quickly, but at 1950 battle value. I really don't think 2 PPCs were going to be a lot of firepower at long range. So you got to get in closer to make use of the LBX. So you're wrapping a lot of tonnage up into something like that. But if he has a C3 slave on board, that might be worth something to think about. So, yeah. And could have been done better with a couple ER large lasers. Yeah, you're losing a bit of firepower, but you're gaining some, putting something in the middle to like some medium lasers or something. Then we got configuration E. All right, this one carries a pair of snub-nosed PPC, streak 6s, and so yeah, that's interesting. 2 PPC, snub-nosed PPCs and 2 streak 6s, backed up by an ER medium laser and an LBX 10. All right, and this runs around 1900 battle value. All right, so you got the LBX and the streaks for crit hunting, and the snub-nosed PPCs. Got some good range and some damage. So that is a good option to be running around with. So that's some thoughts with that one. I could see that one being used quite a bit. And I'd rather someplace along the line have a C3 slave, because I'm looking up at the other configurations where you got some masters. So I'd rather have something that it can transfer the information back to the other members of the Lance, and then you can make good use of it. So there. All right, and we got configuration F. This one has a C3 boosted slave for combat. It has a single clan built ER medium lasers and 5 clan LRM-5s and 6 Thunderbolt missiles. Thunderbolt missiles. Thunderbolt 5 missiles. Yeah, that comes out of about 1850 battle value. Yeah, it's like, this one doesn't scream to me as like, okay, that's something I need. I like the idea that you put some clan weapons on board, but Thunderbolt missiles, that doesn't scream to me as like, yeah, it must have. And then we got configuration G. This one has clan built ER medium laser, an ER PPC, and an LBX 20. All right, so there's some good firepower there. And now that you're looking at clan weapons being on board, and it has a C3 slave on board. All right, so this one comes out to be almost 2600 battle value. That's because you're throwing clan weapons on board. And so, yeah, that can be a problem. It's like when you start using clan weapons, your battle value goes up. And you're still on a inner sphere chassis with the same drawbacks as the Inner Sphere XL engine. Then we got configuration R. All right, this one's configured, utilizes captured clan Smoke Jaguar weapons and bolster the Star League Defense Forces, but we're talking way down the line here. And it has a 2 clan large pulse lasers. Okay, that's out to 20. Good damage. I like that idea. LBX 10 autocannon. And it has 4 ER medium lasers and a pair of Streak 6 launchers. This comes in at almost 2,500 value. There's a lot of firepower with that one. Especially now, but you're still using clan weaponry to get that firepower out there. But it can scrape off a lot of, you hit a medium mech or something with that, they're gonna feel it. And you got a lot of weapon systems to go crit hunting with. Even though you're going to probably use the large pulse lasers more than the ER medium lasers, because I can guarantee you I'm going to be using large pulses in the LBX most of the time, Even when I get in closer where I can use the ER medium lasers, I'd rather use the 2 pulse lasers for ease of hitting, and then follow up with the streaks that say, hey, if the streaks fire, they fire. If they don't, they don't. And it might be throw 1 ER medium laser into the mix, and then see if the streaks fire. And then we got configuration X. This is experimental enhanced LRM-5 launchers. Has 8 of them. That's a lot of 3-point shots. Usually that's how that's going to work. And for taking on battle armor, it has B pods in each leg. And point blank range. It also has 3 ER medium lasers and a medium pulse laser. Comes in at 1900 battle value. Yeah. That's not really one that screams to me that must use, but you know, it has its purposes, I guess. Even though the configuration R might do a better job of it, of hurting elementals. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the Sunder. It's not one of those ones that it's like, hey, I got to go out and get one. No, it's like, now if you're a dedicated House Karita mech jock or player, that's, hey, go out and get one. It's like one of your flagship mechs now. Might be useful. So that might be something to think about adding into the mix when you're playing the game. But overall, there are, you know, with the 36 pod space that's on board this thing, you could put some stuff on board and make it interesting. It's like, you know, kind of like Lost at Wars. But that's it. That is the Sunder. See if you want to take it out for a spin sometime. You proxy it, give it a run for money, and see how long it lasts. So that's it. So like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcracks out.